Yes, Falcon.
Okay, we're recording and I'm going to share the agenda. Hold on here. Okay, Andrea, it's all you.
Okay. We'll call to order the Stewardship Committee meeting for December 14th, 2023. We have Tom Dillon, Molly Taylor, and Mike Kelso, Stewardship Committee members in attendance. We have Katie Stevens from the BLM via Zoom, and we have Matt Olding, Sam Flats staff via Zoom, and myself, Director Andrea Brand, at the meeting. So first call of business, as usual, is the minutes. Did anyone feel there was any edits needed in the minutes from our meeting on September 14th? Okay, does someone want to make a motion?
I motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, Molly Taylor made a motion and Mike seconded. Okay, let's vote. All right, all in favor? Voted all in favor. Okay, thank you. So let's look at the remit sheet first, Matt.
So the remit,
It's the one with the graph.
yeah,
Yep, total remit, sorry.
here, oops, sorry. That one.
Yep, very good. Okay, so let's shut some blinds real quick.
I like that you did an average of remit over those fun statistics.
Yeah,
because
of COVID
and Yeah.
everything.
I don't know if that happened. We can turn off.
Yeah, it's already next. Thank you. There we go.
Now we can
Success.
see him.
Yeah.
It's still
Pretty
fuzzy.
still.
Is there a focus?
Oh. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what a change.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in focus now? That's not good.
Well, we're all
Yeah.
in focus. Everything's in focus. Okay, so what Molly was just pointing out as we were closing the blinds is I do have in those little boxes, green, yellow, and with red text, looking at comparisons to different years. And because of COVID, you know, we used to just do it compared to the year before, but then with COVID, everything got changed. So so right now, though, we are comparing 2023 to last year. So we are actually up 4% in comparison to last year. So
It's behind the box.
it's behind the box,
Yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
okay.
we're up 4%. And
It'd be on the right.
yeah, right.
Is this some of the
I
new
can
fee
move that.
increase?
I can move it.
Does this represent the new fee increase as
See the
well?
4%? Yeah. What, Katie?
You increased the fees in fall, right?
Yes. So
Yeah, so that's part of it, probably.
Right. Yes, I think so. When we met last time, we were down 4%. Yeah.
Maybe just try to get rid of it.
But then
No.
then they won't have anybody.
Well, just.
I guess we don't need to.
There, great. Okay.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so thanks to the, the fee increase, we're doing fine. So and you can see the graph too. It's the pink. So and remember the blue is 2020. So that's why we're still below the blue.
And this was 738, 546. Well, still there's more to come in.
Yeah, there's a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it was-
Now it didn't go well.
It was on a different page where you did the averages in a little line. But anyway, we're doing good.
Okay, so we can go on to the actual Cassell sheet, Matt. That's the one that has the columns with the yellow and green.
Yep.
Yeah, Cassell. Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot here, but what we just really want to look at is 2023 year to date. We always look at that on a balance sheet, but we're looking at it on this thing this time. So that's like the third column from the left. Ooh, thank you. That's what that thing is. We had a little bit of, we had something in the way of our screen. And then, what do I want to point out on this? You can see that the wages, I know that I had an email yesterday from Molly. You can see the wages right now, wait, go back up, Matt, sorry. There we have the second line there, you have salaries, 313,810. And the budget was 416. See, we're nowhere, we're like
Okay.
100,000 less.
Oh.
Of course, we're not at the end of the year yet, but I don't even
Yeah.
think we're gonna spend 13, I spend 8,000 or something, I don't know,
Right.
between
I
now and
just
the
was
end.
looking at 2024 budget of 447.
And I did not
And I
have,
was looking at across.
no, I appreciate that, and I did not, you know, for years, you guys might remember, I used to go calculate it myself. But they would always use their numbers anyway,
Yeah.
but I would keep better track, but then they were, I don't know, when Chris Baird came in and he was doing the financial stuff, he's
Yeah.
like, they didn't really care about my numbers, so I know they're high. I know what they predict is
Okay.
high.
No, I was just kind of looking at remits versus 2024 salary, like, you know, it's all being covered by remits, but, you know, I was just looking at.
Well,
the
everything's
baseline.
covered by remits.
Well, except the budget's $1 million and remits are 738, so that's 300,000 the
But-
county.
But we have,
does.
no, but it's
Yeah.
us, it's our fund balance. We have, the fund balance isn't shown on here, and the
Okay.
clerk's office was not able to give me an updated balance sheet, because but, we have not spent any of our fund balance, so
Wow.
we brought in about 616,000 came into 2023, and we haven't touched it.
Wow,
So,
okay.
because we didn't build things. Remember,
Yeah.
we had things on there like
Right.
booth
Yeah,
improvements.
the capital improvements are zero.
They didn't really have, well, they weren't zero, but they didn't happen.
Yeah,
They're real
compared to
low.
other years.
Right. We didn't build things that we had predicted.
Yeah.
And so that's why, but next
awesome.
year it shows it really high. Let's pull out where's the narrative? Didn't I print the
Yeah, that
narrative?
narrative was pretty cool.
Oh my goodness, did I not print the narrative? I thought I
Just had
did.
a bunch of numbers. Oh, I thought he had
I
it.
printed that one twice. Oh. Well,
That's
Matt
okay.
can pull up the narrative
Yeah.
at some point here.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, okay,
for me.
okay.
So.
Yeah, we can have Matt pull up the narrative in a little bit.
So,
So, yeah, so we're,
doing good.
yeah, we're doing fine. Let me see, I'll look at the percentage and look at something. I don't think anything is over compared to what we talked about in our last meeting of what was a little
Yeah.
bit over, you know, and
It's
they
just
were all minimal.
Yellow.
Yeah, and then if you go to 2024, well, wait,
There it
maybe
is,
not.
capital improvements down.
Yeah, go down,
Yeah.
Matt, sorry, let's not.
There it is, it's 380,000.
Oh, so you might remember what we did. If you go to capital improvements and capital equipment. Thank you, Matt, so much. You will see that we originally didn't have like anything in capital equipment. And we moved it, or maybe I had 14,000, I can't see the top right now, but we moved over 55,000 out of capital improvements and put it into capital equipment so that we could buy the motorcycle and the
Yeah.
Can-Am. So, it was good we had it there because then I didn't have to go, I mean, I still went back to the commission, but it was a different process, really. Just Chris Baird went to the commission and said, we're moving this money around. So I didn't need further approval.
And then the only thing worrisome to me is that accounting kind of disappeared. Oh, it came up. There was a
Yeah.
0 accounting year, but now it's back at 40. I thought I saw last night was 0, but it's
Where,
accounting and bookkeeping.
oh,
It's back
okay.
up to 40,000.
Yeah, so they did,
Yeah.
take it out.
They had one year and then now it's back.
Yeah, so they did
Yeah.
not take it out in 2022 until May of 2023. They
Yeah.
finally pulled it out. But then when we were looking at it in September, it
Yeah.
still didn't show it on our Cassell that it sheets that it had been taken out. But the clerk's office gave me a separate thing and showed me the actual line item accounts and said, well, I don't know why it hasn't been updated in this part of Cassell, but here it is. So they proved to me they had taken it. So, and they're not making any changes in 2024 for that. They're keeping those same amounts. So the only thing, like if you just look at the percentages, I think we talked about them all last time. You know, we were over a little bit in equipment because we bought computers. We were over a little bit in printing. And we were over, you know, if you look at, where's that one I just looked up and saw 600%. We're over in the contract
Yeah,
professional
perfect.
services. Remember, we paid for the videos to be shown on the TV first, and we, before TRT money kicked in, and we paid for the engineer to help with the raise grant. So there's really just a few that are over the line items, and they're really minimal. So, yeah, so we'll carry all that in, so we can go over to 2024, because those are some things that, you know, if we look at the yellow over there on the right, 2024 total next year budget. Again, I have those highlighted because that came from the clerk's office, and I mean the HR, I'm sorry. And then I have the 5,400 highlighted because Grand County Active Trails and Transportation is going to split the utilities with us. That's the
Nice. Yeah, so
and-
that goes down.
so that went down from 7,000. And then 72,000 when I met with you before. I thought it was gonna be about 7,000, but it's 72,000 for the toilet contract.
Wow.
So that's still fine. It didn't go up much. What the reason it went up a little bit was not because of the city needing more money for pumping, but because the contractor feels that they should get a little bit more for when they clean the concrete buildings, because they wash the walls as opposed to the wooden structure toilets. And she's talked about that for a few years, but she never upped it. So she said, I want to up it. I said, that's fine. And we do have more concrete buildings, you know, over the last few years than we used to have as well. And then 15,000 for search and rescue. And then I have the scholarship fund highlighted because actually they forgot to put the 1,000 in there. I had it in there, so I need to, anyway, they still had the 7,000 for the utilities, but Maddie promised me they were gonna pay for that, and then they didn't have 1,000 in scholarships. So between those two, it works out like the same, but I'm gonna have them fix that. I'll have Gabriel fix that. The other thing, okay, so then, like I said in the narrative, which I don't have in front of me, but I think we put 250,000. Bill Jackson wanted us to have that in the budget so that we could show that we are committed. If we do get the raise grant, the road department's gonna put in 250, we're gonna put in 250, just to show our seriousness and commitment to the projects. And then I think we had 120,000, which is if we do the multimodal path for the RTP grant match, because Bill Jackson had said it would be about under 250,000 for that path, which we're going to talk about with Tyson when he comes in. And then the room for the conference room in the owl, that's 2,000. So those were the numbers that we didn't know. And I didn't know that you can see the capital improvement is quite a bit, because I didn't know that Bill Jackson was going to say, hey, let's put in that, let's just show we have the 250,000. We probably, if we get the grant, I don't know that much money would get spent until late fall or something, but we're showing that we're serious, is what he said. So even though it's a small amount of money for a $12.5 million grant, it still shows.
Still, yeah.
So anyway, that's what they recommended we do. So none of us knew that last time we met. So that's why that bumped that up considerably. Okay, so that's budget stuff for both years, and they will pass the final, I think, 19th. The county passes the budget as a whole on the December 19th. But yeah, there was no issues or anything when I met before them. They are always, it's pretty easy when they meet, because we're an enterprise fund. We're not jostling with other people for the general fund.
Right.
Have our own funds. So, okay, well, let's see, I told Tyson to come at well, 6 minutes on the phone. 3:30, I can text him now and say, come, or we can,
We can do.
we could do,
Acknowledge service of Dale.
but he's not here.
I know, but didn't we acknowledge him last time he was here? I thought we did.
Well, I had a plaque for him
Okay.
and I had something written. But,
Andrea, on the subject of money, you could tell people that we're a little bit closer to the assistance grant from the BLM. That
oh,
Jennifer sent you that email, right? I mean, because that's about money.
yes, she sent me that email, the youth grant, the assistance grant, that's a little ways down in the discussion items.
Oh,
You know,
sorry.
that's okay. So it was 75,000.
Oh.
But over 5 years, over 5 years.
Yeah. Nice.
Nope, we're not gonna answer that one.
Oh.
It's about my dog. It is about my dog, anyway.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
We can do some of the discussion items when we wait.
well, Katie, as long as we have you there, what have you heard about the Hell's Revenge nomination as a
Well,
National Recreation Trail? Do you have an update?
yes, it went in. Bill submitted it and it went in and he got feedback that it was all complete and the usual looks good. It takes quite a while for those things to wend their way through. The Park Service administers that program, so it takes a while for it to wend its way through. So I'm gonna assume we're gonna get it and you're gonna be the first to know. But all the paperwork is done. Thanks for your help with it. It's quite a process. It's probably why more people don't try it. And I think we might, at least in Utah, if we get it, we'll be the first motorized trail to be in the National Recreation Trails program.
Okay, did you hear that will be the first motorized
Yeah.
recreation trail in Utah?
And maybe nationwide. I don't really know, but I do know.
Oh.
So, yeah. So that would be quite a first.
Yeah, that'd be, especially if it's nationwide.
Yeah.
It is nationwide. When I go on mute, I'll ask Bill if he knows if there's any other outside of Utah.
So Katie, does that mean you get extra funding or just a?
No, no, I call it the Academy Awards.
Okay.
It goes on a Park Service website and National Recreation Trails, and it's kind of like an Oscar. And there's been concern, I know, about, oh, this increases visitation. I don't think most people are looking at this list for where to go. And to recount, the National Recreation Trails that we already have on BLM are Fisher Towers, Grandstaff, Corona Arch, Bar M. Oh, there's another bike one. Forgot the other bike one. But we have 5 here in this, Slip Rock. And we have 5 here in this office. So, let's go for the first motorized one to show that we are multiple use.
Question, clue me in. Is there a sign or a plaque like at any of these?
Yes, they're pretty
trails?
small. If you go to Bar M, it's on the bulletin board. It just says National Recreation Trail. I will say it helps with trying to secure funding. It does not come with its own funding, but if you put National Recreation Trail on a grant, it's gonna count. It's gonna give you points. So it helps secure other sources of funding, although it doesn't come with funding itself.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt, we have one of those up at Slick Rock. It's a little plaque.
Is there on?
It's on the kiosk and I have a spare one in the office here.
God, I've never noticed. I feel bad.
Yeah, it's only like 4x4 or 5x5 in size.
And we get those sent to us, so I don't know. Maybe they'll give us a bigger Academy Award this time.
Real big.
Yeah, it should be bigger than that.
Okay, that was that update.
Yeah, and then, okay, so that one, and then Katie, you know that we completed the survey for the BLM for the Hell's Revenge Trail head. I mean, it's for the Hell's Revenge Trail. We were at the trailhead.
Oh, great.
I hope we got the numbers they wanted, we were supposed to finish it between October 1st and I guess
Mhm.
October 31st, or maybe it was November 4th. And I was gone for 3 weeks. So, my staff, did the best they could. Shoot, I don't have the number in front of me, but it was, I think with the postcards, of course, you don't know how many postcards you get back.
Right.
I think it was like 175 were
Okay, and you
given
shipped it
out
back
with the
to
postcards, but I think we had over 100 and,
on site.
yeah, over
Yeah.
135, I think, on site.
And those
So
are all shipped back to it's a
I
university.
shipped them all back.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I was gonna find out if they wanted us to continue and do it in the spring and the fall if our numbers weren't high enough, but then it said ending date November 4th, so I went,
Mhm.
I'll
Yeah,
just send it to them and,
And the acronym GPRA is.
oh boy,
oh,
Jennifer didn't even know it last time.
oh,
Oh, let
But
me
it's a
think.
visitor use survey.
okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, what is it, the survey, what's the results? Once you get the results, what happens?
Well, they compiled them, so they all went into a metal mailboxes, and then we sent them to them. But we did look over them, some of them, before we put them in, and it was very high. People were,
Yeah, the BLM is required by law to do a GPRA, whatever it stands for, survey, and I think the BLM statewide does 2 per year. And I don't know where the other one was this year, but the other locations we've done at our office over the years are Big Bend Campground, because the camp host did it for us, administered the surveys. We did the Paleo site and Mill Canyon, and we did RM. So
Barham, Mill Canyon. What were the other two again, Katie? Sorry.
let me think, I'm working from memory here. We did Mill Canyon, Big Bend Campground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Big Bend Campground. I think
That's what
those are the other ones we've done. And the state office asks us every year and we say, ask Canab, come on. But it was our turn again. So, so thank you very much for helping out on gathering that data.
Yeah.
But hopefully
Yeah,
it'll
you're
give you
welcome.
some good feedback too when it comes back.
Well, yeah, it'll be good to see what that, the tabulation of that. And we set up at the Hell's Revenge parking lot. We had our little table and Trail Mix Active Trails and Transportation came up a few days with us. And so it
Mhm.
was nice to have their big tent and made us even more, more noticeable. But we pretty much got up and just walked around the parking lot and talked to people. We didn't wait for them to come to us. We just said, would you be interested in doing a survey, and we also let them know that we were the county in partnership with the BLM because the survey says, did you talk to a BLM person? And everything was, a standard survey of
Right.
everything was BLM. So we had to make sure they knew, and we had a sign in front of our table and stuff, just letting them know, hey, it's partnership. So, it seemed like there might be a few in there where people are like, there's one question, did you talk to a BLM person? They might, if they didn't catch what we were telling them, they might have said no.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that maybe skewed a few. But anyway, that was done. So, and then the nighttime trail closure scoping process, Jennifer talked to me about that. Well, she talked about it with the group at the last stewardship meeting, but she talked to me since, but I did send all that counter data to the BLM, and I thought I sent it to you guys too. I was gonna look.
It only went through September though, didn't it, Andrea?
Yeah, it only went through September.
Yeah, so maybe we could get the rest. And I
Okay.
know last time and it's been going on a long time. The last time I was at the stewardship committee, wasn't there some talk of maybe 10 to 6? I mean, as far as what hours? So if the stewardship committee wants to, and not maybe today, but if you want to think about what hours you think would be,
Well, those were the hours.
those are
Those
the
were the hours
hours
that the
for it?
stewardship committee put in the letter.
Okay, okay,
And those were the hours because they're the same as the campgrounds.
right.
And,
That makes-
so, and the counter shows it in, 24-hour, military time. And, so it does definitely show that bump with all of the outfitters. But when I looked at everything before I sent it, Katie, you got it, right? Because I emailed it to Dave Pals and Jennifer and you and somebody else in your office that's like compiling it.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
didn't
I
hear back
got
from
it, but it
anybody.
only was through September. So if you have any
Yeah.
updates, right?
Well, it was spring through September.
Right.
But, okay, so we'll send them the rest. I'll have Jason do that.
And why don't you send, I'm sure we have the letter somewhere, but if you have it right there, why don't you send me the stewardship committee's letter again?
Okay,
Because that slightly, the 10 to 6 is a slight change from what the proposal is. And so we want to give full consideration to that.
yeah, I know the letter was, the letter, our letter, or your letter was more
Yeah.
specific.
Okay,
And so it was good and
yeah.
it's good information.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'll send that again to you, Katie. And then, the counter data, I was gonna look at that one, everything. Right before the meeting today, I was gonna look and see if I had emailed you guys when I emailed the BLM back in September, but,
Well, you're not, I thought you were just talking about counter data, but you don't want the trails closed till 10.
right,
Yeah.
right. And the thing is with
Especially in the
the
summer.
bump is way before 10
Yeah.
because
right.
it's all of them going out.
Yeah,
And, really, like, if you look at midnight, there's hardly anybody, like anywhere, occasionally you'll see one.
oh,
But,
Okay.
if you kind of say, okay, what are we seeing? You'll just
Yeah.
see a handful.
yeah,
Some nights you might see, like in May, when there was the time period when Rally on the Rocks used to come, you do see a little bit of that.
Mhm.
Some bigger groups going out there, if I remember right. But in general, you see that big bump for the, tour operators, for the sunset tours, and then you hardly see anything.
right.
So, so that was my impression from that data. So, all right, so we talked about that, and I will definitely forward that to you guys, because it's all in a nice email that I sent to the BLM. Okay. So the Raptor route, well, we'll wait because Tyson can talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
And if he never
Oh.
shows up, I can talk about that, but I'd rather have him show it off.
Well, he should, because he wants to talk about it.
Yes,
I'm gonna
good.
skip the raise grant because it's a long one. Let me just see some of the quick ones. So we did purchase our, Matt, do you want to go to the, PowerPoint? Because we will need it for,
I'm there.
for Tyson anyway. Yeah, go to, that was just, okay, keep going. Go down to the Can-Am that we purchased. Keep going. It's just like a sheet with a picture. Yeah, there it is. So I think this is the same one I used last time to show you. But anyway, we purchased a 2024 model. I just got approval 2 weeks ago and sent in the PO. And so we'll get it probably in January. They'll bring it to us. I just want to make sure the weather's good because it comes down from
How
up
much
above
was
Salt
that?
Lake.
Was that the 55?
And it was 27,000. Yeah, it was pricey. It's
Like
the same. Yep. It's the same one that the motorized trail ambassadors got.
Oh,
So we've all looked at it over there in the bus barn before we made the purchase. We went over.
Could have gotten a discount for a mass purchase.
Yeah, well, theirs was that grant and ours was, but we got it from the same place.
Right,
And it was still a state contract.
yeah,
So even at 27,000, it's a state contract, so it's less than somebody else, outside of government would be paying. So, anyway, we can go, Matt, why don't you go back up to, the Raptor? Well, I've got one, it doesn't say Raptor, but proposed lower routes right there. Yeah, that one. So, yeah, actually go to the next one, Matt, sorry. Okay, So let me get rid of what oh no, you're in that. It's not me, it's Matt. Matt, if you want to get rid of the column on the left, we can make it bigger maybe or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay.
Is that bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what Tyson had drawn up a few years ago. And what we're talking about, well, I'll let Tyson speak, but you can see the yellow and the pink are what is just been completed. So
Yeah, so Kestrel Run, we just completed down to into campground H. The run into here is complete. And from H down to Slick Rock, what we've been talking about was like a multimodal surface hardened style rec path that would also connect the campgrounds and get users who are coming through the Raptor route down to the pavement a little closer to Slick Rock.
and I have the next one, Matt, which shows his latest ideas. If you want to go to the next slide, please.
This is that was what we had proposed a few years ago.
Yeah, a few years ago, and it was brought before the stewardship committee, and you guys were like in favor of it.
So through through scouting, through conversations about concerns up there, these are all the options that we've kind of come up with that can get through that area.
But only one or two would be, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
we wouldn't be building all this.
Yeah,
Not a trail system. We're looking at one route primarily through there. So the northern blue line there is more of a single track trail option that would either tie into the pink line or tie all the way to the Slick Rock practice loop. That of course is kind of like your primary mountain bike option. The pink and purple lines are all surface hardened path ideas. So when we say surface hardened, we're talking about dirt, not paving. So this would be if you've been up along Lions Back development, they put in kind of a surface hardened path along the road. There'd be something similar to that. So 6 to 8 feet wide would allow people who are staying in the campgrounds to kind of go between campgrounds and have a recreation opportunity that doesn't require the road. The primary reason there's so many options is just looking at some of the issues. So when you get over to campground D, right in there, it's almost impossible to get around and through that. The original idea kind of went through there. And since then, the campground's been added to, and we looked at it the other day when we went through a whole scouting trip, and there's just that you could go through it, how that purple line goes, but it would be real weird. It'd be weird for campers, it'd be weird for people using it.
Yeah.
You'd have to connect every campsite to that trail too.
Yeah.
Or you're just gonna have like a lot of weird.
or
off-trail-
fencing and just give
Or
them a few
fencing.
places.
So we're kind of shying away from that option. Some of the options out east of there in this kind of open area, we're kind of shied away from a little bit because of the view shed. Putting a trail out through that as you come up over the hill, that kind of the mountain view shed is important. The going east of E, campground E, these two options have kind of been identified. This one closest to Sand Flats Road is on an old road bed. There may be some issues with that. Andrea's kind of said some ARC sites potentially. There's also a USGS plot in here that they occasionally use. But there is a ridge between that option and this more southern purple line that would hide it from the road. That's kind of why we went out all the way out to here, and it would provide more of a trail experience away from the road, a little bit less noise. It's kind of in between Fins and Things and Sand Flats. I don't know if it had less noise necessarily,
Didn't
but
we have a little ridge that hiding some of that
Yeah.
road as well, the regular road?
Yeah.
The old road as well,
a
right?
little
Bit,
yeah,
some of
yeah.
it,
It
okay.
kind of gains elevation too. So, and then from, concerns of going through campground D, that's where the two options that cross Sand Flats Road came into,
Where
the
the pink-
purple line,
And the pink.
the pink and purple. The pink line's kind of there because it would use a fair bit of sandstone. So it's not gonna be quite a surface path. It's smooth sandstone, it's pretty low angle, but it would also cost less to build because of that. And then it would tie into campground C. And then Sand Flats Road, that corner would need some working if nothing happens to Sand Flats Road. So, Andrea and I've been discussing, with the raise grant and potential for this to be paved, that maybe we kind of just hang out and wait to see what comes of that over the next few months. Because if that's the case, potentially there's a paved path along the road. Once you pave the road, you don't necessarily, you could potentially be trading off this kind of recreation opportunity out there. But you won't be getting dusted out so much along the road, so it could potentially be a little closer in the spots to the road rec path idea.
And if the, you guys, I sent them the draft survey. We haven't talked about it yet, but, and it's still very much a draft, but, if, there's gonna be the options of bike lanes along the paved, connected to on the paved road, part of the paved road, or a separated path. So if it's a separated path, it might be just a path that's closer to the road probably, and not out away.
But that pinch point would be a problem anyway, that corner right after.
Well, they're gonna have to widen it,
Um,
the road there,
it's a
you
nice
know.
rock.
What?
It's a nice rock.
Yeah, it has been blasted before.
Um,
When you look at it, Tyson and I were looking at that the other day, we're like, yeah, this was blasted before.
So- Tyson, let me ask a question. So the blue line is for sure, and then
No,
one of
no,
the
nothing.
purples are for sure, or yeah, clue me in, or just one of these are gonna be picked out.
These are all just proposed options to get between Slick Rock and Days Crack Campground H.
Campground H, yeah.
And then of these options, is just one gonna be happening or maybe multiple choices?
Well, we don't know yet, probably just, I mean, we're just thinking of one right now, but, if the road gets paved with bike lanes, you could say nothing could happen. With any of these. I mean, or maybe a single track happens, but, or if it's a separated path from the paved road, it would be closer to it, so then again, maybe none of these would really happen either. I guess, or maybe parts of some of it that's close to the road, right, Tyson? I mean, Tyson, I had just asked Tyson to like put everything out there that he's been thinking about.
Yeah,
Or,
the idea was for one of these to be the option to get between there and there. If people came forward and wanted some type of non-motorized trail system out in this area, then that would be on y'all to, I'm not going to propose that to Sand Flats, because that's a lot. I know there's already a lot up there, so I think just getting a route through there is hugely beneficial. So.
I mean, if the road, I hope the road gets paved. I mean, at least partially, because of just the dust problems and the congestion and the volume and all kinds of reasons for our campers, but, if it didn't get paved and you had to just, try to get those mountain bikers down more safely from H, I kind of like the purple on the
This
bottom
pink.
that's more straight, and then
cross
and then
over.
cross into the pink,
Yeah,
and then come along the road down to Slip
I like
Rock.
that combo too.
That's what Brendan, he went on our field trip, he liked that, immediately liked that
Yeah,
idea.
he,
Just because of the issues the southern area kind of brings. And that would be like right between E and the Fins and Things entrance, kind of where the power lines go across, is kind of where that's gonna would cross the road.
yeah, near Campground E. Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like there's some nice fins back in there. So, I know they're just lines on a map here, but I mean. As I pulled my back out last week, we just did a little hike, but I would like to hike all of these, or not all, because I think we've eliminated all the ones next to Campground D. But, hike the others, hike the single track and hike all the others would be good. And we could do it as a group too, when we get to that point. But right now, we're looking at, what's gonna happen with the raise grant. getting through the survey, seeing if we can put in the grant again and then see if what we get.
Falcon climb.
So yeah, so Tyson has this other idea for Sand Flats.
So our most requested trail that we're hearing about is something to get users off of the upper part of Sand Flats Road. That upper part of the road gets super sandy to a point like I've fallen over on it as, you know, as road gets
That's
graded.
pretty bad if Tyson's falling over.
Bad. It's so bad that I'm, you know, the whole time I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be fine going up Sand Flats Road. That's a graded road. It's well maintained, but it is amazing. That upper part, I'm sure too with speed, it doesn't help, but the amount of sand that gets pushed from the center line of the road onto those shoulders is pretty impressive. And so this is something that we've had a lot of requests from the community. We've just been hearing about it. It's about 3 miles. So
Tyson, let them know, yeah, what each line is, just in case.
Falcon Flow Trailhead is down here on the left. So that's the primary trailhead. So currently you're right up the road, up to Falcon Flow or up to Hawksglide and then back down.
Pink is the Juniper hiking trail.
Yeah, that's your Juniper hiking trail. This is Kestrel Run on the left, the new trail that comes in. So Kestrel Run, you know, the thing with that is we're able to design it as a 2-way trail really clearly. Big open sight lines most of the way. And so this will continue to be recommended bi-directional, right? As like an option to go up Sand Flats and away from the crack and all that and off the road. So the Falcon Climb has a great option right where this junction is to continue off of the Sand Flats Road on the north side the whole way. Definitely kind of made that a priority. I didn't really want to get into the south side trails. I know people hike everywhere out here, but if we can at least keep it to one side or the other, I view that as a positive.
So Tyson, it makes a loop then, is that correct? Or is that?
Yeah,
what-
makes
It would also
Falcon
be-
Flow a loop.
It would
Okay,
make Falcon Flow a loop, yes.
Many mountain bikers do it now, but they're on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, they can fit back up.
and trail runners
Yeah,
Oh.
trail runners.
and
I've
walkers.
seen it coming down Falcon. Coming up Falcon.
Yeah, the problem with that is it's just, there's a lot of sightline issues
Yeah.
on Falcon Flow. Yeah, we did what we could to kind of slow people down in places, but with our corridor, we, had to kind of keep that going. So this would utilize a number of old roads that have been impacted. I mean, a lot of them are pretty gone, but it would utilize a lot of roads and, slick rock. There's a surprising amount of slick rock once you get just that little bit off the road up through there. Where it crosses Juniper, we'd have to figure all that out and make sure
Yeah.
everyone's on that, but that's kind of like just a rough idea. So.
I know, actually, I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, you pull into the Juniper parking lot and you're like, oh, it's so quiet. I have the trail to myself. Then you start walking out, all of a sudden you have lots of bikes going. Yeah, whatever.
If they're climbing up, they're not gonna be swimming too much.
True,
And,
true.
Andrea, were the road being paved, how far right now is it projected to go up? Is it gonna make it
Well,
to the start of the Falcon Flow Trail or to the parking lot? of
the way
Falcon?
the way the grant was written the last 3 times was up to Porcupine Rim.
Oh, okay,
So then this could be paved all the
okay.
way up if that's the way
Um,
it's written this time. But my goal for many years since 2015 was to at least get it paved up to Pinion Trail through Days Crack and up to Pinion. And then with the building of the Falcon Flow parking lot, I was like, oh, why don't we just have it go to there? But that's going to be all part of the survey that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. They're asking people, they're going to ask people. This has been, the commission has voted, they want us to do this survey. And so they'll be asking people, do you want it to go to Days Crack? Do you want it to go to Pinion, to Falcon, up to Porcupine, up to the Loop Road? Where do you want it to go?
Tyson, where's that one grade as you're heading up to Falcon? Is it just, I mean, that should definitely be paved. It's like a pretty consistent climb.
Yeah,
It's like,
This whole-
and it gets sand,
kind of
it's
all
right there.
this and then this
It
long
gets
turn.
washboardy, it gets just a grind.
Yeah, that's kind of,
Yeah, that'd be awesome to be able to at least pay that.
Well, you know, I mean, it was all part of that big travel plan that they passed, the commission passed in August of 2022. That said, pave all the way up to Porcupine Rim. And that was determined by UDOT and the road department and when they asked me to help the second year of putting in the grant, I didn't even realize that that's where it was going. I thought it was still Falcon Flow or through the crack. So, so that's what's in the documents and that's what's been in everything, when it's gone in the last 3 times. So, but the commissioners, voted that they wanted to have more outreach, on specifically the Sand Flats Road, and so that's why the survey is gonna be happening in January. And then the grant is due the end of February. And I don't know if the commission, I mean, I don't know, like, if there's this major outcry that people don't want the road paved, then is the commission gonna say, don't put in a grant this time? I mean, we came so close, we were 7 out of 8. But it sounds like what people are hearing is that, the community seems to have support for to the crack or through the crack or something, but we don't know how much support passed. I mean, when I did that went to the trail mix meeting and they didn't vote to send a letter in support of the grant, still most people in the room could see the logic of paving it through Days Crack.
yeah, I think a lot of that was, like you said, you were thrown off, like the sticker shock of it getting paved to Porcupine Rim. I think
Right.
people had heard and had an idea that it at some point would get up to the crack at least, but like all of a sudden to go all the way, it was like, whoa, that's a lot of pavement all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So,
And the other thing I want to say about Days Crack is when we had our debriefing, the pictures that I had put in there of the day of Days Crack and people passing in Days Crack, that really stood out to the federal government as, ooh, something needs to be done here. So I think that if they're gonna do it, they're gonna want it to go through Days Crack, or I don't think it'll even happen. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there, but that was very important to them. That was the major one of the major safety issues that they were agreeing with. So anyway, so we're not really, like Tyson was saying, as far as down below, just kind of wait and see what happens with us hopefully putting in the raise grant, see if we get it, because we will know in June whether we have it. And then if we have it, and also based on surveys and all this input, like, what do we want to do? Are people more interested in a separated path or more interested in bike lanes? And then do some of these other things come into play years down the road or not at all?
yeah, that's, well,
Well, when and to whom are the surveys gonna go out to?
I guess that's a good question. I guess the citizens of Grant County.
And should it include a question about how often do you use Sand
Well-
Flats Road?
I'm gonna say yes, because I'll tell you, there's a bunch of people down there have not a clue.
Well,
Right, and they'll vote one way or the other.
Yeah.
without
Well,
understanding.
yeah, exactly. And the other thing is we're only surveying local, right? This is public land. This is federal land that belongs to everyone. And unless the BLM does some kind of a separate outreach. Katie, what do you think about all this?
Well, you're right. We're not considering the visitors in the survey. And I don't know how we could reach them. The BLM is not doing a separate survey because it's not really our, proposal or anything like that. So, what I've heard about, maybe it's just a red herring. Oh, people will go faster. They go too fast now, and now they'll even go faster. Is that addressed? That's not addressed in the survey at all, is it?
Well, it's all a draft. I emailed it to you guys last night. Matt,
I have it.
survey is just in an email.
Survey, here we go.
Here we go.
So yeah, here's the beginning of it, and then the questions. Are these all the questions? Wasn't there? Yeah, here we are, Sand Flats. Yeah, Andrew, what do you want to see on this? The cyclist.
It was a little strange what happened in that when we voted on it, when the commissioners voted on it in February for us to put in the grant, they voted 5-2 in favor of us putting in the grant. And then the two commissioners that did not vote in favor, they wanted there to be a survey. So eventually they did bring it to the rest of the members, and now there's a survey. But,
Who put the survey together? The questions.
oh, we just started it this week. It was, Alyssa Martin from the planning department. And then there was a room full of, it was Tyson, Bill, at the meeting this week. Tyson Swasey, Bill Jackson, myself, Alyssa Martin, the new woman, Katie, that's a volunteer, a Vista volunteer, Vista employee. And, Jenna Beth sat in too, because, she's the one that puts in our grant for us. Bill wanted her to be there, and I think that was all of us.
Yeah, this says it's going to the loop road, 17 miles.
Options.
Well, these are
Well,
options.
no, in number 3, it says it is going to the loop road. It says right here, the proposal extending to the loop road includes the entire line. See, I never heard that before.
Where are you reading that?
Number 3, the current proposal.
Right there.
I need that reworded.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
right. That makes it sound like that's the proposal.
no,
To
no,
me.
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
probably that-
Where did that come from?
At least probably put that in because we were talking about.
You have time to change
In
it.
the
So
next, in the
number,
next
number
question.
4, it could say it could extend to the loop road.
Yeah, and I think that's where that wording
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
It's like Sand Flats technically goes to the loop road, so I think we should.
Or is it trying to set number 4 up, because it says, if you think you should not extend the length of the road, how far you can.
So if you're a citizen of Grand County, how do you get to access to the survey?
I don't know yet, but it's gonna be online. Grand County Connects.
Yeah.
Because above the rim to loop, you probably have mainly Colorado mountain bike. Well, there's a lot of mountain bikers that do sports.
Hey, just me looking at this and trying to big picture, you know, there's everything in here about is biking. What about just people walking?
Well, it says that in the first one, pedestrian. As a
Yeah, okay.
pedestrian.
Because I would emphasize it should be equal, in my opinion, unless you want to just go after a mountain biking trail to get more of the general public buy-in. That's just
Yeah.
my.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that need to happen with this survey, and Tyson sent, I haven't looked at it yet, Tyson, of course, you just sent it this morning, but you guys did a survey before, so there might be some ideas in that of questions. Oh, well, just maybe the way you set it up and the types of questions you asked.
See, number 6 has me concerned too, is like, I would like the option of, for instance, yes, bike path along the road, but yes, separate single track
Right.
out there too, like the best of both worlds. But so Tyson's proposed ones and pave along the lane. Because then you have recreationalists that want to spend the time using the single track and doing it as a sport. And you have people that are just trying to get from point A to point B along the road.
Or just going out for a paved ride kind of thing.
Yeah, or scooting over for faster traffic.
Right.
Or I think it would serve people in the campgrounds. You're cooking dinner and stuff and you can tell the kids safely, hey, go on over there and go on the bike path. You know, and the kids could get some exercise while parents are preparing dinner. But I mean, you wouldn't tell a kid to go on San Francisco and have a good time.
Right, right. Yeah, there's definitely, Brendan and I and Tyson were talking about this the other day, and we've known this before. There's definitely, I mean, this would open up things for families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's even weird biking around the campgrounds when cars are pulling through it. I mean, it's tight.
Yeah, as this is years ago, a person named Katie Stevens, educated me on separating the groups. And I loved that comment, Katie, that separating, here's the road, keep the cars, motorized on the road and everybody else onto these paths. I think that's, to me, my philosophy.
And Matt, if you go to the top of this document that you're showing that I sent, this little part right here, these 3 paragraphs, this was from actually the commissioner's letter for the grant that I wrote. Yeah, that's what happens lots of times, department heads write this stuff and then the commission says, yeah, write it up for us and we'll see if we'll vote on it. So, this is just in a nutshell, why the road needs pavement. And so I think we need to make sure when we do the survey that this background is in there. Plus, Bill Jackson was saying, well, in the why would we pave the Sandflats Road? He was saying at the meeting, there's a certain number of cars. When you get a certain number of cars, vehicles on a gravel road, it's time to pave. So we need to find that. And then I need to go through all the counter data that Bill Stevens did. Like, I know we had a counter at one point where the road turned to dirt.
And
From
you
the
can try
pavement.
to document accidents from the Dave's crackdown. I mean, there was a sand spot truck that went off. Years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
how long ago? Oh, I remember when
yeah.
I was on maternity leave, there
Yeah.
was one. Yeah.
Anyway, it'd be fun if there was.
So that's a long
accidents
time
that
ago.
happen there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did send accidents in the grant application.
Okay.
It does have some things from the sheriff's department, but their information, I don't think it's got everything.
Yeah.
But at least we got what they had for like the last few years they gave us. And I included that in the application, but anyway, you folks, I mean, I could, if you wanted, I could, have Alyssa Martin, include you in the Google Docs for the survey for your input. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
And then you guys can, yeah, definitely. So, I'll
I
get
would
you,
say it needs to be done. They're pushing to get this out pretty quick.
yeah, so we need to do it. Well, I'll ask her tomorrow morning to get you guys access, and then as we just keep, because so far, I didn't look at it today, but she put in stuff and I edited it. So I don't know if anyone has had time to look at it yet, or you haven't looked at anything yet, right?
Quickly read through it.
Yeah. And then, like she said, she accepted all my comments, but now that we're looking at them, I don't think she changed
I know, like,
everything I
number
wrote.
8 threw me for a loop. What does that have to do with paving?
That was a Dan Stenta idea. He thought that maybe that might make it more attractive as a grant. But Jennifer said it had to have NEPA. Katie?
Road, yeah.
You have to have NEPA if you're gonna have a charging station.
Oh,
BLM.
for the charging station, the road needs it. I don't know if that could be part of that or not.
It just seems like out there, you're like working on this idea of paving, you're like, what is this?
That came from part of one of the, there was like a innovation category in that grant or
Oh,
something. that was like,
right.
what are you doing that's more than just paving? Are you adding a pathway for it? Are you adding EV charging stations?
All right. But I mean, I thought you should have something you're gonna charge your e-bike more than charge your electric vehicle.
Just plugged into that thing.
Oh, yeah, they'd have all their phones plugged in. Yeah, that's
It
right.
seems
I
a
know,
little-
exactly. No.
It does seem an odd question. It seems out of place. In a way, it just seems out of place.
Oh, what,
Like it's
Katie?
immaterial to whether this is about whether or not the road should be paved. What's that have to do with it?
Yeah, take that off.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
I don't think it should be there.
an
I
add-on. Yeah.
He was saying the grant had a question about would paving add any new ideas or
Innovation.
Innovations. So he said a charging station could be a new innovation. But yeah, it seemed like it was kind of out of left field.
Can any of the five of us think of an E for number 7? Another idea of why it's important.
Well, and
How
that's,
about access? I know it's multimodal access, but something about campground access and.
Family enjoyment. Yeah, the
family
kind of
enjoyment
family idea.
Something like that, to throw it in there. Something about recreationalists and campers being able to.
Off the paper, off the.
Yeah, safe, family-friendly activity, something along that
Just
line.
adding more that. But when I think of Sandflats, the campground is a huge part of it, in a sense,
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
on 9,000 acres.
Yeah, it's like a little town. You know, when I did the EA for the, what's it
Oh.
called? The OK Corral out at Bar M, I thought, okay, fine. No one's ever gonna use that. It's like a family gathering area, right, Tyson? I mean, I think families with kids who want to bike are starved for opportunities. And whether they're camping or from town, man, I can see the families flocking up there to a
Yeah.
separate path.
Brendan actually brought up the OK Corral the other day, because what happens up at Bar M is the OK Corral is like a little play area for bikes. It's attached to the parking lot. It's just a small area. But what you get out there is families and the parents and kids like basically switch off, like they'll go ride, the little kids like stay in the OK Corral and play and
with one adult or
with an
something.
adult, and then parent comes back and then they switch out. And just like giving them this simple, I mean, this is off topic of all this kind of, but giving them this simple little area.
Yeah.
Kids can run around on their own.
So another thing we could add to 7 is what I had written when you included the search and rescue thing. I know it says safety, but you could say a speedier access of search and rescue, or you don't have the dirt and the washboarding, you know.
Don't use the word speed though, because I think
know,
a lot of the people.
Better access or there's
Yeah.
efficient. There's
Sustainable access for search and rescue.
Sustainable.
It could be part of safety, but I just thought of that too. If you don't have to slow down and, well, I said, oops, again.
But Molly sent me an email last night and I thought that was great because she was thinking, oh, the information from search and rescue, is this part of the grant? And I'm like, oh, it should be in the grant. And why didn't we do this last year?
Right,
You
it
know,
just adds
so
another thing to it.
another layer of what goes on up there.
Yeah, since search and rescue, even from some of the base jumping accidents and the climbing death that they were telling them.
Well, and also, yeah, right. And then also, when Jennifer was here last time, you know, all those different community connections with Sandflats, all the different entities and, you know, the Moab mountain bike team, just all the people that use Sandflats. And because that was where we rated medium was this like community connection, and we just didn't stress it in the right way in the grant. The engineer wrote that part and I was a little confused with it because I don't know. I didn't know what would fit in there because I was interpreting it differently, I guess. Oh.
Dedicated path from town connecting Potato Solid Hill to Slipknot. There is a road.
I should have that grenade in there.
Yeah, that's
Because we
Tyson.
were talking about,
Driving over to the road, you connect straight up the hill.
we were talking about getting down Sandflats, getting a pathway down.
All right.
Sandflats.
From Mill Creek.
Everything's happening there. And it's like, well, you know, the easy way would be to get across Mill Creek.
Remember, this was proposed a long time ago by Joe
Right.
Kingsley from the Rotary Club.
Oh, so then I would, like, I'd leave the booth, then I cut over below the snake and
You
drop
drop down
into
and
potato salad.
There's some sort of route.
And then I'm
Not
not
the
going
secret
all the
sauce.
way to town and turning left.
Right, you're not going on the road.
To the right side.
You're getting either off the big hill, going
Yeah.
uphill is much easier.
Yeah, no, I
But
get
that
it.
was kind of.
But that's not part of this. Yeah, that
would be awesome.
That should not be on the
That's for-
survey. That's for another day, another topic.
Grit.
You do. Near the bridge, near
Well,
the
see,
path.
essentially, Alyssa wrote this while we were all talking in the meeting,
Yeah.
you know, and then she
Okay.
sent it out. And so then,
I love the fugitive dust line. I just can't get that word.
oh, they
It's
they
out of my mind.
they really like that in the grant too, the put the Jeep fugitive dust.
Should be a movie
I know.
Anyway.
I've got a lot of it.
Thing that's
Like shake out your shirt.
right up your nose.
So
Blow
Tyson,
your nose.
all right, we're being recorded. Tyson, do you have anything else to say about the Kestrel Trail? Cause I did have that as a topic, like you guys have completed it, how many, like, you had a lot of community involvement or?
A fair bit. It got built pretty quick. I mean, a lot of it, this part on the photo is definitely like a lot of what we call rake and ride. So just cutting out minimal amount of plants and veg and then raking it out, lining it. So I got, most of it got built in a few weeks. And then there was a few problematic spots along the,
Oh, actually, if you
yeah,
go to that first
yeah.
picture,
They just took a lot.
Matt,
So
in the PowerPoint, go up.
it turned out great. People are loving it.
Go down, it's the fourth one. Yeah, see, this is where he had to put all the work in.
Yeah, so we go down that fin. So this has got, it looks a little different now.
Yeah.
There's a sign at the top of it that says morning advanced moment, ahead advanced feature. Just because it goes down this, it's nothing crazy. It's like something you find on slick rock, but technically it's more advanced than the rest of the trail. So we have warning signs on it. But then once you're down this, it's just beautiful down through that canyon. And the nice thing is even coming up the trail, I think it's nice, even though you kind of have to hike up most of this, you still, on the road, you have 2 long climbs because you go up through the crack and then you drop down and then you go up that long second climb. So this is really nice all the way up. We are gonna add some signage up there that warns people, just reminds them it's a 2-way trail. And putting also like the yield, user yield sign on there as well. So we will put a bunch more of that on here.
And they're gonna put a little warning sign close to the trail about that feature there, that
Yeah.
hoodoo, because it's a very loose rock. And we
trail
could
kinda
see people.
Curves around near it and then comes and does like a big switchback thing. And there's a little sign there that says caution, there's rocks, trail below, please don't climb.
Oh,
Cause it
yeah,
looks
they
like
could-
something you wanna go climb on,
Right, and you could
Yeah.
also drop rock on the people below.
so.
Yeah.
That should, and we'll put, I don't think we got up there to do it yet, but there'll be a no bike icon on that as well, so people know not to ride it.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that part's turning out great. It's packing in. I think it'll be a bit like Falcon Flow and Hawkslide, where segments of it throughout the year have sandy bits. And then once you get a little bit of rain, it packs in really well. So yeah, so far people are loving it.
And Matt, keep going down. We have the parking lots that, go past the Raise Grant stuff. Past the Can-Am, where are we? That one right there above the toilet.
Mhm.
So this is the, Tyson so kindly drew this up for us. It is unfortunately one of the campsites we closed last year. But anyway, and I did spend a little money on some seating in there, but Brendan had this idea and then Tyson and, went out there with Brendan and I. And, it's an idea for a little bit of parking there. This is the Kestrel route comes out in the pink from the bottom. And then the yellow is, so there was an old, campsite there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
dear.
Dale.
Let's get him a chair. Go grab a chair in there.
Oh,
Bring it in.
really?
Oh, there is a
Yeah.
chair. There's a chair. I'm sorry, I couldn't see it.
I'm so sorry, people.
You're fine. Come
No,
on.
I'm not.
It worked out. Mike
Worked
made it.
out, worked out. Mike made it, so it worked out.
I made it, so.
So, Dale enters, 420.
Woo-hoo.
So real fast, is this campground H? Is that?
This is campground H, and so the idea is to add, how many parking spaces are there? 8, 6 or 8?
6, 7, 8. It kind of just depends on how it all works out with they went in and
Show the
we
entrance and
went
exit.
to this is the old campsite and churned it all up and churned up this hillside. So the nice thing about this is it really doesn't impact anything new. It's pretty much all been impacted, and it gives you like an obvious, as you're going up the hill into H, it gives you an obvious like, oh, that's the trailhead up there. Versus if you didn't have this left kind of entrance by the trail exit, this isn't obvious that you'd have to come up along Finn's and go into it. So it's kind of nice that potentially we can put in a loop there. This is all measured out at 10 feet wide, 20-foot parking spots. So that's kind of our guesstimate on what we can fit in there. It might change a little bit once he actually flattens it.
And so Lee Palfreyman from the BLM, he's pretty sure he'll be able to get to this too, along with the few other places he's gonna be working in this winter. And then also Joe was talking about, just on that road before you come up, parallel parking along the road if needed, because it is wide enough as you're coming up from the Sand Flats Road into H. So that's, and then Matt, go to the next one. I think it's next. Oh, I'm jumping, but this is to show what Lee's gonna be building for us this winter. This is a toilet out across from Moonflower in the campground there. So we're gonna get one of these at Falcon.
Nice.
And Joe and Brendan will help him too with the cement and everything. And so we've already bought the vault. It's already sitting at the BLM yard down next to the cemetery where our office used to be. And I purchased that, and then the metal is being ordered. There's already templates that Lee has up at Western Slope Iron because he's done many of these. And so we'll pay for all the materials, and he and Sand Flats staff will build that this winter, along with hopefully fixing what you just saw in H. And then the next one, Matt, is, we picked up the bike stands yesterday from the BLM that they got for us and for you guys in other places and stuff. And so when Lee is up there pouring the cement for the toilets, you can pour a pad for this too. And Brendan and him will help with the forms. And
Where's that pad?
we're gonna put it, these guys wanted it at Falcon, so I'm not
I
sure.
know, but where's that?
That one's.
I don't know.
Okay.
The eastern.
I just couldn't.
That's on 313, isn't it, Tyson?
Yeah.
Yeah, Navajo Rock.
So what is there? So people know, it's like
So, yeah, the left side, the taller side, you can actually put your seat in between those two little red things at the top of it, so that'll hold your bike. And then there's a multi-tool pedal wrench. There's a number of things, like a Torx head for like disc brakes. They're all attached to a cable, and then the thing on the right is actually a bike pump. It looks hollow for some reason in this.
Right, well, it must be on one side.
I think it's just the
The
legs.
pump's
were
on
shaped
one
through.
side.
Yeah, it's really weird, like that thing's, from what I remember, it's a solid cylinder, and it's like this industrial bike pump.
Oh, maybe it's
Oh.
reflect.
It
no?
might be, I don't know.
There's
Oh, yeah.
Photoshop.
I don't know. That's weird. I swear it's like a big cylinder, maybe.
Oh.
Photoshop. Somebody
maybe it's a
photoshopped
smaller
it.
cylinder.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they are like this really robust.
So I don't know where you think it should be at the parking lot. So we didn't talk about the location.
Yeah.
So you should think about the location. The toilet,
I'd say once the toilet goes in.
Yeah.
And then after the,
okay,
Maybe right along.
well,
the
we'll
side.
decide at the same time because,
because it needs to be out of the parking lot, ideally a little bit, so.
well, I'm sorry I don't have a Google Earth picture or anything of the parking lot, but the toilet's gonna go in the island.
Oh.
Lee picked the spot and so it could maybe, I don't know, go down in that island too, or maybe it's somewhere else. We'll talk about it with.
Have you seen much, Tyson, have you seen much vandalism of those bike tool stands?
No, we have one out at Bar M.
Yeah.
That's been there a long time. It's like as old as I am at this point. I mean, it's been out there for 10 years, I think,
Yeah.
8 years.
Wow,
So, and we or the BLM have replaced the tools on it, I think, once. They wear out over time.
Yeah.
But no, they're pretty robust. Like, you'd have to really try to, I mean, if you drove your car into it for sure. But, yeah.
we'll have to think about that,
And the
where we
pump-
put it in Falcon.
The pump
Guys.
is a new thing, so I have no idea the longevity on those, but I'm assuming it's just a big O-ring in there. You can take it apart somehow and replace it if needed, but.
Okay, so Matt, if you could go down, okay, so this is again Tyson so kindly drew this up. And then I met with Lee Palfreyman and we didn't really talk about, this is at the Kestrel not Kestrel, Eagle Eye Hawk Slide up there off the Sand Flats Road, Lazy Man entrance. So I don't know what
Are you
he's,
really near the boundary?
It's on the south side.
Okay.
So the red is the trailhead?
the red
Yeah.
is the trail.
Okay.
Yeah, the
And
trail.
the road, so going to the left, so roads come in and then go off to the left side of the screen. And the upper part is, this is, what's it called? Eagle Eye.
Yeah. I don't know. When I went out there with Lee, I have to double check with him. I don't think he had as many on the left side fitting as you drew. But I remember the others, he was like, I remember talking about that with him on those other ones.
Yeah.
That were all, he's like, oh yeah, this is all good.
Yeah.
But I can't remember on the left. Maybe he only thought 2.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember talking to him about those parallel parking ones at all. Along the roads.
That's currently kind of what happens there, so.
Yeah.
Our idea was to pull, I mean, it turns into like a corridor right there some days. So,
But he's gonna bring in Phil, Sand Flats will pay for it and build that all up. And but it's not gonna prevent any access to Lazy Man. And actually, I didn't have this in anything, but Search and Rescue approached me at the department head meeting, Aaron. And he said that they have a hard time going down Lazy Man with and up some of Porcupine with their UTVs when they have like their trailer and stuff to rescue people. And oh, here we go. And so he picked out like 6 spots and I sent the links with the, right to those spots with photographs to Lee to see what he thought. And he hasn't gotten back to me yet. I don't know if he's gonna be able to do anything on that. And I need to talk to Bill Jackson as well and probably you guys, but I mean, I think it's for search and rescue. If anything happens to smooth it out. So it's all Grand County, but then. Yeah, and Lee said, well, I'm up here with the equipment. I could do something probably, to improve it.
yeah, and I know one of those spots is just down past the first turn. On Lazy Man, so it's just falling over, the road's falling away, and so it's like real tippy.
That's what he's talking about, these tippy places.
Switchback.
Yeah, he had like 4 of them. Just in that Lazy Man, and then he had like 2 on Porcupine. I mean, there's a lot more, but he was just saying, oh, if you're gonna have equipment close, maybe they could do something.
So you're just fixing the road that's designated now. He's just making a little,
Yeah, no, it's like new.
yeah,
Yeah, smooth out this part right here, Katie.
that goes down to,
Yeah, it goes down to the Porcupine, yeah.
I'm confused at this picture. Is that Lazy Man you're
Yeah.
showing? Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, and on Google Earth, it's called the East Trailhead for Porcupine, so. So it's this same spot.
Yeah.
Well,
I
but then
think the
going
difference-
down on Lazy Man, going in this way and going down on Lazy Man and fixing some of that. As well as
you could
these.
put that bigger picture up, the one. This is when Tyson talked earlier about making a loop out of old roads that are there. There's a good example because there were actually a lot of size lines, probably in the 50s up in Sand Flats, as well as a lot of wood cutting where people drove to cut wood. So, there's probably a lot of those old disturbances with which to make your loop, Tyson.
How wide is it now? Spot?
Oh, what?
Wide.
Not very.
Well, it's getting, it's like double track width, I would say. But it's just the left side's falling away, and so it just forces you into it, or you slide, it looks like you slide in.
So you lean off so what?
Yeah, right, get everyone on the other side. I feel like for UTVs, UTVs have to go over a pretty good step to not avoid the off camber and the road just getting lower and lower.
Yeah, it's
that little.
this corner right here.
Do a little cutting up there or?
That's what the search and rescue would like him to do if he can. And search and rescue sent me like specific maps and like.
Right where it says safari route, right there, it's a spot, you can almost see it pushing out right there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, he'll have to go out there with him and see what he thinks he can get done and how much time he has. And so Let me go back to my agenda here. So we talked about Raptor Route, we talked about the raise grant, OE to be purchased. Still no applicants for stewardship committee membership.
Yeah.
We need to get, so I don't think there's anything else on here for you.
I had some people asking.
Yeah, thank you, Tyson, so much. What, Dale? Oh, for membership?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, please do. Okay, Tyson, yeah, thank you so much for coming in on your day off.
Always good to see you.
Thanks, Tyson.
Yeah, thank you guys. Let me know any questions you have on any of that. And,
Okay,
we'd love to see that Falcon climb happen, but
and have you, Katie, is this the first the BLM's hearing about it, or have you talked to them about it?
I haven't talked to them about it because it's in Sand Flats, so.
No, I heard talk around, oh, you talked about it Trail Mix a little, didn't you, Tyson?
We
No,
haven't,
no.
we haven't really presented it at Trail Mix at all. I might have talked to you and or Jennifer at one point, just
Right,
lightly about it, but, you know, the route, the map that I have there is loosely scouted. And that's mostly because we want to bring things like this to y'all first before we put in tons of effort into something. But we know, we've done enough scouting to know that there can be a trail put there. I mean, it's worth doing. So that's kind of the impetus, so.
So what we should do at some point is go on a field trip, right? As a committee and decide before we bring it to a vote at some point. I mean, I don't know how far out you're looking. Are you gonna put in a grant for it this spring
You know, we haven't
or next year or?
either a grant, I don't know
I
if
mean,
we'd be building
2025.
it next year. It'd be nice to get it in the BLM system sooner than later. And then we would deal with the grant, how to pay for it whenever. But, you know, that would be, it would go to, I would assume, say, Sand Flats Committee approves it, then we would probably take it to the Trail Mix Committee as well for input. And then it would go into the BLM system.
So would it be too crazy to make it a action item?
No, I
for the
can't make
next
an action.
meeting?
Oh, maybe, but it'd be
For-
nice to
I
go
mean-
out and see it though.
Well, we have 4 months, right, for the next meeting, or how many months? I don't know,
3.
3.
Right.
Yeah, so if we made, or maybe I'll just suggest we put it as an action item and see what happens. We get organized. January, February, March.
for
Yeah.
next time, you mean? Yeah, for next.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
that would
okay.
motivate us to consider it. It wouldn't hurt making a move on it, whether it happened or not. I feel it.
Yeah.
Is that the wrong attitude?
No. I mean, we are gonna be busy with this whole raise grant thing though,
Yeah.
in January and February, figuring all that out.
Yeah, and that's part of why I want to bring up the Falcon climb. Is that something we can manage? Like we can
Right, you know,
manage the EA side, like work with the BLM on the EA. And then put it into our system to either get a grant for it or just figure out how to have the funding. Like the lower pathways, we'll continue to work with you on, but that's, you know, if we go that route, that's like working with engineers and contractors, so that is a much bigger.
yeah, we'll be doing it
And so
together.
that's why I wanted to put the Falcon climb kind of on y'all's plate to see.
Right, cause it's something that you guys can do alone. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
And I don't plan to bring any more trails to you, I promise.
Okay.
I'm not trying to put the whole
Make a
50
note.
this whole 50 miles of trails.
I know, we already got it. We already have. I am surprised. I thought we had a- My
Well,
battery's running
I don't
low.
think it would hurt to stop it and write it down in the minutes that we could put it as a.
Is that you, Matt, or?
Say it again. Did I lose you? Hello? Ah, crap.
I'm still here.
Oh, Katie, you're
Lots
still
of them in the
okay.
room, so yeah.
We lost.
It says
Yeah.
Andrea, but it's dark, see, up there?
Yeah, okay, so you can hear me. So Andrea, here, I'll text her. Hey, log back in. We lost you.
Matt, if you're involved in this field trip on the Falcon Flow Loop, I'd try and make it to come along too. So
Yeah,
just
yeah,
remember that.
yeah. She just texted me. She's logging back in now. There
Okay,
she
there
is.
she is.
Can you hear us? Can't hear you.
Yeah, my laptop died.
Oh, did you give it some power? Plug it in?
Yes, I didn't think it would go. It was fully charged when I started.
Well,
The electrifying
we
conversation.
all like to talk too much.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Andrea, keep me in the loop, any field trip that Tyson organizes for Falcon Loop. Let's call it
Okay.
Falcon Loop.
Climb, Falcon climb.
Talk and climb. Okay. All right, so back on the PowerPoint, what did I miss? Let's try to get this stuff going.
What we did
We
that.
did Kestrel, we did raise.
Tips for stewardship.
Yeah.
We did the.
Oh, the introductory video, it's a big one. Did people get time to watch that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good, good. All right. Yeah, I think it is too.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, we finally get it done.
Yeah, it looks like Thomas and notes got it. I emailed you and Jen emailed you on those minor things.
And he incorporated them.
Okay.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, I just
Everything
thought,
that- everything
why not
that-
just,
Yeah.
keep the night closure thing simple and then it incorporate the future or not.
Right, right.
Yeah.
No, it was great.
Okay.
He incorporated yours. I sent
Okay.
the new one yesterday.
Oh.
He
okay.
incorporated yours, he incorporated Jen's, mine,
Alright.
Sonia, I even reached out to
Wow.
Sonia. So did you have some
Well,
edits?
Just not edits, no, just suggestions, basically, telling people, make sure your vehicle is in good working order, blah, blah, blah. It might not be a bad idea to say it is extremely expensive to have your vehicle towed out.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's
400 to
incentive to
600.
make sure it's like, yeah, they're telling me to do this, but sure, whatever, it's good enough. And then I had no idea what it cost to tow a Jeep or a UTV out of there.
Well, it depends. Depends where you're at,
Yeah.
how bad it is. But you're looking at minimum 400, probably more like 600 if it's really a hard one to get out of data.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not cheap, it's not like.
I can speak
Being towed
from,
off.
unfortunately from,
Experience?
but I got a discount.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
You think about that, $600. 30 years ago, 35 years ago, when I had an electric, I didn't get record insurance. It was $9,000.
Back
Wow.
then? Wow.
So, and it's no cheaper now. And shop rate, minimum is $100 now. So. Yeah, like I say, it depends on situation, how bad it is, how much time it's gonna take.
Okay.
In any case, it's expensive to get towed out of there. If you go, I'll check those brake lines when I get back.
Oh,
Well, it's
yeah.
not just getting towed out of there, it's the damage you've done then and
Oh, yeah, like the guy
Correct.
climbing out of the hot tub and flips over and all that. He damaged his vehicle, maybe his arm and spine was hanging out of it.
I know, you don't really know in that picture what happened to his arm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you have any more comments, just email them to me about the video.
Okay.
So it's mainly gonna be on the website as like a link?
It's gonna be on our website as a link. It could go other places. It could end up on the TV station if we wanted. Yeah, it'll be on YouTube, because we have our own YouTube station,
Yep.
this channel. Right, Matt?
Yeah,
On
it'd
there?
be on ours, and same thing with Mark Finley's, and then and most likely the Travel Council's website.
Yeah.
Trevor Moab. Or just,
Yep, yep. So on there, okay, let me look back at my thing. Responsible rec, I don't have a slide for this one, but Matt and I helped, with, the Responsible Recreation Committee. I mean, yeah, I'm part of the committee, but the trail ambassadors, last time we met, I talked about how they were having, an outline for this film that they're putting together, and they're using Mark Finley's extensive library of videos. And then it's called Crux, I think, Academy or something, Crux Filming. Do you remember, Matt, what their company is?
I can't, they're out of Las Vegas. I can't remember the name. Yeah.
Anyway, Matt and I were interviewed along with like 20 plus other people for this new video they're doing, but they're using a lot of Mark Finley's stuff as well, I believe. He's working with them on it. So we were just included in that. So that's all I wanted to mention. I don't know what the timeline is for that to come out. And then the gold star rating application on the next slide, Matt.
Katie just recognized Dale in the text. Katie just did a little thank you square that popped up.
Oh,
While you're talking.
oh, I didn't see it.
It went away. You guys not read it?
She wrote it and then
Yeah.
Oh,
took it down.
Anyway, Dale, Katie just thanked you for exemplary
Katie.
service.
she's still there? Did she leave? Matt, is Katie? Oh, Katie's still here.
Yeah.
No, I'm here.
yeah,
I
she was-
just wanted to make sure I didn't forget that.
Thank you, Katie. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, well, it's you've really added a lot all over town, but especially to the Sand Flats Stewardship Committee.
No, thank you.
Woohoo. So I just want to go through this and then we'll have a little cake here. So Leave No Trace, we're gonna apply for I'm gonna put in an application for Leave No Trace standard site. The trail ambassadors got theirs, here. They announced the designation of the Grand County Trail Ambassador Program as a Leave No Trace gold standard site, joining an elite group of sites to earn this honor. Grand County Trail Ambassador Program is the first program to receive the designation in the first site in Utah. And so what Anna would like from Trail Ambassadors and Maddie to do now is the Park Services joined on, the BLM is joining on, we're gonna join on, and maybe the Forest Service and maybe the state parks, and try to get gold standard for our areas as well. And then we might be the first county area, I think, in the nation to have this rating.
Wow.
So that's what I'm gonna apply. So she's given me a lot of good information to help me fill out the application. So it doesn't look too bad either. It's a lot of pulling what we've already done, our brochures, our kiosk, our signs, our website, our videos, just showing them what we've done for education. You can go to the booth one, because we've already talked about all this other stuff when Tyson was here. Just there's a picture of a booth. I just as my note there to myself to remember. So we're gonna be painting inside the booth this January and fixing the counters in there. And so it came in at only about 2,800, I think, to do all that work. So, and then the outside will be more, but that's just for the inside, because he won't do the outside until it's warmer. But the outside, but the inside he'll do. And you know how we have that drawer? I don't have a picture of it. We have that drawer we put in for COVID, that bank drawer that comes in and out. We're gonna take that away. Because it's kind of a pain inside.
Yeah.
And we want to have a desk that goes up and down for people of different heights to work the register, and that drawer is just in the way. And so hopefully we'll save it. We'll sell it eventually. I mean, hopefully we won't need it again. Hopefully we're done. And then this is just some sketches that Pete Apicella did. So we're still in the process here, but the idea is we're going to put something in our bathrooms, but we're going to have him do one piece of artwork, and then Jason and him will work on it, get it ready as a sign to give to the prison to make, so that it'll be a sign that can be outside, and then we can go ahead and make like 28 of them and put them in every toilet. We're trying to think of a way to reach people about our trees, Because even though we have signs on our picnic tables, we have it in our brochures, we have other specific signs about trees as you're driving in. We have it in their permits, we have it in our video now. They're still tearing apart the trees.
Yeah, I love the idea, especially in the bathrooms. The right one seems to be more, you could get more symbol going with it, so that's good.
Well, the idea was to actually, right now anyway, so far, but everything can change, is take that symbol on the right, and that would actually be below this, and have like a nice big landscape on top, and then we were gonna have in the other, there'll be like 3 parts, and then in the other corner, the lower right corner, we would have text that we would have nicely,
Yeah, it might
but
do better to have more iconic.
more like that.
More than busy.
No,
Yeah, but anyway, just different ideas.
no,
I
no,
wouldn't
What
mind
about
talking,
the fire pits,
because people have already gone and torn down the trees.
near the fire pits.
well, we have it on the tables, we have it on the tables,
So
which
they-
are pretty close to the fire pits usually.
They just need to be gigantic and have, say there's a fine of $1 billion.
I don't know how it would work on the
Well-
fire, because the fire pit gets hot.
Talking points I always try on people is that insects use the dead wood, like a lot of people are like, oh, it's dead wood, what does it matter? The biomass deteriorating, the insects, like there's a whole ecosystem to letting dead wood be, rather than burning it. So, something to get people to think outside the box.
Well,
like,
the other thing is they have no clue about how old these trees are.
Yeah,
no, we
Yeah.
just wanna have a
That's a
fire.
big thing.
Well, I have a whole text part that goes with this that I didn't
Yeah.
pull up for you
But
guys.
just try to keep it simple rather than,
Yeah,
I mean, a redneck's not gonna care.
Yeah, you know what?
The theme could be these trees
It's
live a
terrible,
hard
like,
life.
you know.
Don't make it.
what,
worse.
what, Katie?
I said maybe the theme could be these trees live a hard life, what with, you know,
I
drought,
like that.
dust, don't make it worse.
What's this, Dale?
Road first. Hey.
I missed what you were saying, I'm sorry.
Their artwork, I don't want to hurt any feelings, but that sucks.
You don't like it? Well, this is
It's-
first
it's-
thing, he just brought me some.
It's very possible it could be the same guy that did the artwork for some stuff he wrote with respect and collected it, had it all done and everything, that would get, the things were printed up and that just popped. It looks like a 6th grade art student did it.
Well, I love his labyrinth, his mineral bottom work. It's
Yeah,
fun.
well, I haven't seen any one, but that's, I do not appreciate that person's art. I'm sorry. He
Oh,
may be a wonderful person, or she may be a wonderful person, but it sucks. Just a bar, the circle with the bar and breaking off the bark is good enough.
oh, without the
Sign-
person,
yeah.
without the person.
Yeah, you know, signs on the trees, I don't know what you can do because people just don't get stuff like that. Just about, rather than doing something of an ecological mind, just a sign that says, you know, something like, we don't drink your toilet water, so please don't piss in our pool. I mean, it's the same thing. It really is the same thing. You tear down the trees around the campground, and what do you got?
Yeah.
You got a lousy campground. So if you go at that, you go at, and no bark, you know, no tearing down the bark and cutting the trees. And in a situation as thinking you're tearing up the beauty that you came to see. Leave the ecological crap out of it. Just be practical.
Or,
That's something even a redneck remembers.
I've been in some areas of the country where there's just huge signs at the booths, you must have your own firewood. Like,
Yeah,
just like turn around, go back, or some, you know,
Yeah.
it's like.
yeah, stuff like that. is good too, yeah.
Non-used trees must bring your own firewood.
Yeah.
Like this huge, like, in California, they even check you, do you have your firewood with you?
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Well, then wait,
Oh, I'm not
Wow.
gonna have a fire, they're
when
like,
somebody gets, excuse me for
Yeah.
interrupting, when somebody gets their pass at the booth, a piece of paper with a big old thing around it. Please don't cut the trees.
Well, it's just hard with.
Don't
groups
do
and
it.
kids.
But usually it's the 8-year-old Cub Scout that's going out to get some kindling for the firewood, probably.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's
You know,
Well, I just noticed it on their parts of the country, they just make.
really make a big deal at the entrance.
yeah, absolutely.
Because-
I like
yeah.
that though.
Yeah, you gotta have the fire because you can't burn any stuff around.
Yeah.
the campsite.
So if they don't have firewood, what do? They make them buy it?
Buy some.
They have to go
They-
back down and get
They
some.
do, they have to, yeah, cause they're saying they don't trust you that you're not gonna have a fire.
Oh,
So you have to, you're supposed to show proof you have firewood. Cause they really don't.
They
think
have a
you're
real
not gonna
problem.
fire.
wow.
I know, that's harsh.
I don't think we have time to deal with that.
No.
Oh, you sell firewood.
Yeah, we used to sell it,
Yeah.
but that was a weird deal. I wasn't even manager then. That was when Michael was here and it was kind of there and it was like, please pay, it was
Yeah.
all self-service and
Right, it could be in that far parking lot.
yeah, it
Yeah.
used to be there and he felt like people were just taking it. They were still burning down the trees because it was too far for them. Like they're up there. They're not gonna come back the 2 miles and get it.
Yeah,
We're here, we're gonna make our fire tonight. So I didn't
Well,
feel like it was helping,
I
but
don't,
but it might be now because we don't have as much of a problem as those days.
people are much more aware of things now.
Yeah.
Than they were 10, 20 years ago.
Mhm.
When we got into this deal with building trails and, the first thing we did before Riley was clean up popular areas and rake them up and put delineation rocks around them and stuff like that. I mean, we didn't even ask anybody, just went out and did it. And education is a real process. It's a real process. And it takes a lot of years, but I notice now, as many people as are around here. And I don't go out in the popular places anymore. But I'll make a raise run 2 or 3 times a year. And I'll run through a bunch of the old trails and stuff and get over there. You can just about stay on single track, almost all on the old ranch, all the way over at Greenberg.
Wow.
In the day. And I've noticed people are picking up after themselves a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
And you do get the campers coming in. There's a new age of campers right at COVID that are coming in and they're driving out in the middle of the desert and camping on virgin ground. And I'm sure that the land cultures are taking care of that person, but it's happening, And oh my God, up on, oh shoot, off the Dubinki Road. I went up there after the first cold snap this fall. And I could not believe how many new places on BLM ground. All the
Oh,
places that have been closing up for 30 years, they're now, by virtue of the amount of people that are coming to the area, they're now legal places that you take your trailer and park on. And I couldn't believe it was like living in California in the 50s. Because they have a lot of campers out there off of Dubinki Well Road.
wow.
Yeah, that place gets crowded.
It's really popular. And it's not hard to know why or find out why. I mean, look at how pretty it is and how much you can do from that area.
Mhm.
But Andrea, I like the idea of just painting the toilets too, like the mineral bottom.
Well, I thought about, he showed me what he'd done at
Right.
Mineral Bottom and I
Yeah.
thought about, that's how I went to him first was,
Yeah.
okay, maybe you could paint some of these. And then we got talking and I said, what about you make us just like one painting that has all the information we want? And then are you okay? Like we'll pay you a certain amount and then are you okay with us, making copies and putting them in all our bathrooms? And he was fine with it. So,
I guess I would say that, like,
Well, and also it would be something that could be in the open air toilets that's
Yeah.
on a sign that
Oh,
is
right,
fine with all the elements,
right.
you know, because it's on a metal sign. And so, and you know how when you go up to Sand Flats, we have the Nick Hogan sign? Right there by the booth?
Yeah.
I mean, that was his painting that we took, I had Jason take a picture of and then touch it up a little bit because it was starting to flake off.
Oh.
And then we made it into a metal sign.
Okay.
So it lasts 10, 20 years, you know? Because Nick was coming up every few years and painting it. And then he's like, I can't do it anymore. And so Jason was like, what do we do? I said, how about we take a picture of it and have the prison make it? And then he found some program to make it look even better than it did at the time, you know? Fix it up. So that's why I was going down that on that path. Well, to be continued, I'll show you what else will come from his
Right.
sketches.
Well, Dale doesn't like the artist. I like the icon idea rather than too busy.
You like the right one.
Or that idea.
The
Just
idea.
something simple saying, don't do it.
Okay.
Or
I
you
think-
get the idea.
Well, I wrote down what you said, Dale, about I think, you know, just like you wouldn't go to a hotel and start, you know, punching in the walls and.
Well, you don't.
Spitting
cut
on
your
the floor
tree-
and-
don't cut your tree down in your front.
Yeah,
yard.
no.
You know, that, you know, if you, is it, impressions are very powerful. I really agree with making metal signs, not because they have a plasma cover, because the metal signs don't go away.
They last a long
And
time.
they look, but they go along with the whole motif of what things are doing.
Yeah.
And by the way, anybody needs anything cut out, don't come to me. I'm good.
I just heard something. Just because I have this, we can make them or something like that. That's what I thought.
No, that's not what I was saying. Okay, just because I have one doesn't mean I'm going to cut anything. out.
Oh, we didn't
All I'm
know
doing,
like that.
right, all I'm doing these days is building race cars, motorcycles, and my cars. When that's done, I may do something else for money again. But right now, I'm fixing all my stuff. Sold my house
Oh,
and
Yeah, to your son, huh?
my grandson, and his wife. I get to live downstairs till I die.
well, let's just wrap up our meeting and then we can talk. Katie, do you have anything from the BLM that we should know about? Any updates?
Sorry, I was on mute. No,
You're fine.
no, nothing in particular, particularly that affects Sand Flats especially. Just
Okay,
keep up the good work and, you know, winter's the time we tidy up everything and get ready for March.
all right. Well, I want you to stay on for us. I think I need the light on. Tom, can you turn the light on? I just wanted to, I wrote up something that was supposed to be in a card, but you didn't get it there yet, Dale, so, and I need to grab something.
Should we stop the meeting or you wanna do it as part of the meeting?
Just take a deep breath.
Okay, thank you. I
Okay.
forget what I'm doing here.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop
No, you did stop it?
no, I'm gonna stop it now.
No, don't stop it yet.
Okay,
I
okay.
want to, turn this, tell me if you can see Dale.
Keep on going. There, we got him.
Okay, so, I'll come over here with Dale. I want to, okay, wait a minute. All right, Dale. Thank you so much for your willingness to donate your time and talents to Sand Flats over the years. Your efforts during the 50-year celebration contributed greatly to the success of the film and to the event. Your knowledge, concern, and love of Sand Flats is greatly appreciated by me, the committee, the community, and our visitors. You will always have a lifetime pass to Sand Flats.
Awesome.
So, I'm going to present you with this plaque. Oh, you're welcome.
Greatly appreciated.
All right, well, you greatly deserved.
I'm proud to.
No, well.
Well, that's part of what we like about you.
And I have, anyway, I guess we can, Dale has been on the committee for a decade. So we thank him.
Wow.
And I wish I could do more. but for the simple reason, I was over in Grand Junction today. I have so much that my mind is on in my personal life now. If I have things written down, I had this all written down, had it in my phone and everything. And
That's- Life happens. It's
I
okay.
just, oh my God.
Well, I'm
you know,
so
That's what
glad you
happens
were
to
here.
retired people, everything just slides away.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad
Yeah.
you made it. You made
That's
it
right.
here. Okay.
It's, I guess I'm getting old.
Well, it's better than the alternative.
That's for sure.
Well, thank you, Matt.
Thank you,
You
folks.
can end yes, you're welcome. And you can end we can adjourn our meeting and then Matt, come on over.
Okay, see you guys in a few.
Thank you,
All right.
everybody. Congratulations, Dale. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katie.